Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to all the brothers out there pushing his word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping his word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, I want to go into a quick lesson on something I was meditating on, thinking about this morning, about how in the beginning, the Lord told Adam, well, first and foremost, you got the misconception that people think that Adam was the first man to be created. Just kind of speaking on chapters 1 and chapter 2 of Genesis. People really don't understand the beginning and how things actually played out in the book of Genesis, you know. But more so speaking on the point of Adam, how the Lord told Adam he could eat from the tree of life. And people don't understand what that is. They think it was an actual tree. For whatever reason, it was taught that Adam and Eve ate an apple, which there's nowhere in the Bible that they ate an apple, you know. And people have, you know, deemed or kind of like put a bad image on apples, but that's not what happened in the beginning at all, and it's more so going into how the tree of life was wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what it is. That's what Proverbs 3 say. It talk about the tree of life, where it's talking about wisdom, but it also references it as the tree of life, because wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is what brings life. And Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is pro-life. They're all about life, continuing life on earth. They're pro-family, pro-life. The Lord created that for a reason. And the reason why I had to speak on Adam not being the first, man, and Eve not being the first woman, you had other people around, which would be the other nations at the time, before they actually had their names. Just like before we had our names as the nation of Israel, we were the sons of God. You know, you have the sons of God, the sons of the wicked, and the sons of men. The sons of men being the other nations, the sons of the wicked being East Edom, and the sons of God being the Israelites. So, just going back into the point, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that's the philosophy and doctrines of the other nations. You know, anything that was going to cause Adam to go off or go astray from what he wanted him to do. And a lot of people don't understand how that metaphor said the tree of life, you can eat from the tree of life. People think that Adam was pulling fruit from a tree and eating it, or was metaphorically speaking, because it's just like in today's time, how somebody would say, monkey see, monkey do. That doesn't literally mean that you are a monkey. It's symbolically or metaphorically speaking. You see somebody else do something, whether it's good or bad, and you do it. It's metaphorically speaking. It's just like how people also say in the world, food for thought. It's not literally saying that your brain has a mouth and is eating something. Food for thought is saying, it's like bringing up a new ideal, or having you basically mental stimulation. It's like intellectual nourishment, or it's basically your brain processing new information, or processing information in a different way. you know. But it's not literally speaking. It's metaphorically speaking, or figuratively speaking. So even like in the beginning where it said he can eat from the tree of life, that's talking about Adam can learn more and more about righteousness. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Learn about the creation. Learn about what the Lord created and the different things that He had, for our pleasure on earth. Because think about it, as Solomon. I think it's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7, if I'm not mistaken. Which Solomon go into the various wisdom that the Lord has given him. Doesn't hold anything back. But Solomon definitely goes into like the understanding of the plants, the herbs, the circuits, the sun, different things like that. He understands the creations of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord gave him that understanding. But Solomon was eating from the tree of life, which is wisdom. You know, it wasn't that Solomon actually had a tree that he went to go eat from. It was just like us now. The more we learn about Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua and righteousness, that's us eating from the tree of life. But the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that's the tree. That's learning how to do wickedness. You know, learning how to do things contrary to life, contrary to how the Lord set it up. That's how this world is being operated. Because that's what the serpent gave Eve. You know, the serpent said, the Lord tell you not to do this, do that. He said, don't eat from the tree of good or evil. You know, and what did the serpent tell Eve? He was like, you can eat from that. The Lord just know you're gonna be like him. You're gonna understand what good and evil is. Because in the beginning, only what's his name? Adam only understood good. You know, he only understood righteousness. Just like Eve only understood righteousness because she learned from Adam. But after the serpent got into Eve's mind, teaching her to be in opposition to the Lord, you know, do opposite of what he said, that's when he planted that thought in her mind. And then she brought that back to Adam, you know, brought that same witness from the tree of good and evil back to Adam. And the same serpent is ruling the earth to this day. And that's why people are in the condition that they're in now. This earth is ruled in wickedness, you know. There's no good in this, you know, in what